Hey everyone, welcome to exercise 2, which is about percentage-based calculations with articles. And the first tip that I'm going to give you when you do an exercise like this in the test is that you bring a marker with you, because it's going to be much easier for you to know what to do when you have marked whichever pieces of information you think are needed. Bring multiple different colors. Sometimes it's useful to use two different colors if you're talking about two different things. If you want to, for example, here you could mark things that are from 2015 and from 2016 a different color. That can help. But at least try to mark things so it's easier for you to figure out what you have to use. Let's take a look at what this article is about. Explosive growth of organic food revenue. Over the last few years, the revenue from organic produce has grown spectacularly. The revenue in 2016 was 1.4 billion euros, which is 130 million euros more than in 2015. And so what you could do now is take a different color marker and mark that this is something from 2015. Okay? The increase is largely thanks to supermarkets and the catering industry. The revenue from supermarkets increased by 82 million euros in 2016. Okay, so 2016 is 735, right? So 2016 is 735, and then because 2015 was blue, it has increased by 82 million euros to get that. And the 80 million euro revenue from the catering industry in 2015, so in 2015, 18 million, right here, increased by a quarter. And that is not something that's a big number, but this is something that says something about 2016. The increased revenue from supermarkets in the catering industry seemed to be at the expense of specialist organic shops. In 2016, 2 million euros less was spent on organic food and specialist shops than in 2015, when the revenue was 388 million euros. Okay. Copy and complete the table. So now it's important to go step by step and see what we are marked and where we can place it into the table. Let's start from the start. Right. So now I take my normal pen out. The revenue in 2016, that's the total thing, right? Everything together, was 1.4 billion euros. Take a good look at what the label here says. The title says in millions of euros. So if you're going to fill this in, 1.4 billion is going to be 1,400 million. Which is 130 million euros more than in 2015, means that this is now minus 130 is 1,270. Okay. This increase is largely thanks to supermarkets and the catering industry. The revenue from supermarkets increased by 82 million euros to 735. So in orange is the 2016 revenue. Increased by 82 means that you should take this and subtract 82. Subtract 82, that is 653. You can use your calculator, of course, if you want to. Doing it mentally is, of course, okay as well. Okay, let's take a look at what we have as well. We have the revenue from the catering industry. This we start with blue, right? So we have the catering industry in 2015. And now it's increased by a quarter. That means it's plus 20%. 25%, of course. I'm sorry. So you can calculate what 25% is of 80, that's 20, add it up. This is 100. Now we take a look at the specialist shop at the end. For the specialist shop in blue, it's 338, so that's the 2015 revenue. 2 million euros less means 336. The only thing I now know is other, but what you can do is just take total and subtract the things that you have. So 1270 minus 653 minus 338 minus 80 gives me 199. And the other one is 1400. 1400 minus 735 minus 336 minus 100 should give me 229. Okay, and hopefully you see how colors can help you out when you now try to figure out where to place what in the table. Of course, it's totally optional, but it helps me a lot, so maybe it helps you as well. Okay, in 2016, the revenue from organic foods in specialist shop was higher than that in the catering industry. How many euros more? In 2016, so it's the bottom part of the thing. I don't know why it's going to move to the right now. Let's see if I can zoom out for a bit. Otherwise, I'll just continue like this. I guess we just continue. That's okay. So that's B. I don't know why it's going to move a bit to the right there. Okay, for B. Well, we can calculate it quite quickly, I think, because in 2016 we had 336 million right here. Again, if you want to, you can label it. What we're talking about is for this question. So you can even mark them with colors. We take a look at what this is. We take a look at, let's see, the catering industry. That's this one. How much more is that? That's not even a percentage-based calculation, right? That's just doing this minus 100. Don't forget to, don't just say 236 million more. Okay, so that's B. C. Was the revenue in the category other, okay, in 2016 more or less than in 2015? Again, this is not a difficult question, I think, if you have just made your table, because they ask you if this number is higher than that number. Sure, I think. How much more? Yeah, subtract one from the other, and you find it's 30 millions more. In 2016. Again, I guess doable. D. And if you want to, again, you can color code this one with orange. You know what refers to what. Okay. D. In 2015, supermarkets had a total revenue of 22.6 billion euros. Calculate the market share of the revenue of organic produce. Market shares means, because I think that's an economics term, is how much percentage something is from the part is from the total. So here the total is 22.6 billion. In 2015, supermarkets had 653 million. So calculate how much this is from this in percentages. How much is this part of the total? That means what we're going to do is first convert them both to the same thing. So convert this to billions or this to millions. And then you do part over total. Okay, so 22.6 billion is the same as 22,600 million. And now you do part over total. The part is going to be 653 over the total, 22,600 times 100%. And you can take out your calculator for this, of course. And this is percentage-based calculation. So you're going to round this. It gives me 2.9%. Okay? It's percentage-based calculation, so here you are done. And hopefully you've seen that B and C were not difficult exercises after you have made the table. For D, it might be interesting to know what a market share is. Otherwise, this question might be difficult. Okay? I think my biggest tip is that you should know how to mark stuff and how to find information in actual context-driven exercise like this. Okay? Good luck.